So what do they want when they're ignoring you? Well, first of all, obviously, you have two different perspectives. People who are in relationships and people who are first starting to see each other. And ignoring is different based on the type of relationship that you have with the person. And this tends to happen a lot. But so let's first talk about it before you guys get in a relationship. What does it mean when they ignore you, and what you should do? And then after that, we're going to talk about what it means when you're not when you're in a relationship, and what it means when they ignore you, and what you should do about it. And if you guys want to learn more about this, you guys can go to mindfulattraction.org to work with Father Alex 101, and I'll see you guys inside. Okay, so let's begin this. So first of all, when you first get to know someone and they start to ignore you, that's a humongous red flag. I mean, not even China can make a flag like that. That is a humongously horrible red flag. When they're already ignoring you, when they're already taking a long time to respond, or when they're canceling the dates, when they disappear for days, those are red flags. Red flags. And when you see that situation, the problem shouldn't be go all Scooby-Doo mode and say what's going on, let's investigate. What you should do is moonwalk your ass back and leave. Every single time that I've worked with clients, every single time in my experience, when people initially ignore you in the first few days, weeks, it almost never works out. Now, there's always an exception to the rule, but consistently, initial red flags in the first month is not a good thing. Now, the next thing is that while you're dating someone, when they ignore you, it's also them trying to cause you to make mistakes. It's trying to get you to get so emotional that you reveal how you feel, and it gives them the advantage. And the reason why people do this is because dating nowadays is really hard. And so most people date guarded. And because of that, they're always trying to date without getting hurt, and that's impossible. So what they do is that they try to get the leverage by ignoring you so that they could gain the upper hand. Right? And so that's one of the manipulation strategies that most single people use. And usually people who do that, usually you meet them online because honestly, they don't give a fuck about you when you meet them online. They're more disrespectful. So people who you meet online are more likely to ignore you. So that's why if you meet someone and they're ignoring you, don't try to fix it. Don't try to fix it. Just mirror people. When you first getting to know people, you mirror them. If they ignore you, you ignore them. If they start getting close to you, you start getting close to them. If they pull away, you pull away. That's only because people are tricky, man. People will raise your expectations and break them. And that will cause you to get manipulated by them because all of a sudden you just want their validation. When you're first meeting people, do not let them ignore you and don't react to it. Just literally mirroring people in the first weeks or so to see like their temperature. Once you mirror them, it'll literally reveal to you how they think about you. You meet people in real life because people who you meet online will disrespect you more. They have no social links between you and them to put on a good act, to at least not ignore you. Because when you meet them in person, when you meet them through friends and family, they have the obligation to be a good person because they know somebody that you know, right? So we're seeing a lot of people get ghosted, get ignored, not because they're not valuable, not because they're not attractive, but because you're in a place where your value as a person is diminished to a pixel. So then what happens is that if you continually keep getting rejected and getting ignored, you're gonna start to develop insecurities and projections that's not even based on reality because the person who they're treating, which is you, is not even you. It's your digital uglier version. People get off of online unless you can't meet people in person. If you're a normal looking person, get off. Because you're just not. You're gonna internalize that. You're gonna start to value those validation than the people who in the outside world. But if you actually meet people through real life, you get ignored less. When you're in a relationship with them, what does it mean when they ignore you? Well, a lot of the times they ignore you. Maybe they want some space and they don't know how to communicate it properly. Some people don't communicate those types of emotions well. So because of that, they will rather ignore you and wait until they feel better to get your attention, right? But when you meet these types of people, you cannot be afraid to confront them. When you're first meeting someone and you guys are not in a relationship, telling someone why you're ignoring me can look like, they could gaslight you into looking like it's a red flag on you. But when you meet people and you actually know them and you're in a relationship with them and they're ignoring you, you have to talk about this. You have to talk about this. I don't give a fuck if you look needy as hell. You have to talk about this because this will create bigger problems in the future. So when somebody ignores you, then you have to confront them. You cannot be shy about it. You cannot be afraid to talk about it. Because if you do, it's going to turn into a bigger problem, right? And one of the things is that being willing to talk about things that people don't want to talk about when you're seeing someone makes you look more confident. Consistently. Let me kill this motherfucker. Mosquito. Where the fuck are you? 1 second. Oh my god. Where are you? Alright, here you are. I don't remember you. And the reason why is because it'll show you where this relationship can go. It'll show the other person that you have the confidence to talk about tough things and willing to lose them. But also it'll tell you a forecast as to where this is going. When you don't address these things that bother you, but you don't want to say because you don't want to look needy, Father Alex says that, you're not testing the person. Like, you gotta test them. You gotta test their fortitude. How willing are they to talk about things? You know, and if you're noticing that talking about them causes them to shut off, you can't even talk, what the fuck you think is gonna happen to you? And if they don't want to talk it out, then you gotta leave them. You have to leave them, because that just puts you in a position of weakness. In a position where you're angry, you're mad and resentful, but you don't bring it up. So rather than confronting them, you start being more passive aggressive, and you start wanting to give them a taste of their own medicine. And what does that do? Well, that creates a relationship where you guys are not connected to each other, right? It's all a game. So you have to be, when you're in the relationship, you have to confront them, talk about it. And if they don't, it doesn't mean you're being confrontational. It just means that they have bad conflict resolution skills and you have to leave them. But when you first meet them and you guys are just chatting and getting to know each other, you should see that as a red flag, not something to resolve. Because once you're in love with them, once you like them, then you can resolve it and try to make it work. But if you're seeing these things in the beginning, let me tell you something, man. Consistently, every time there's a crazy red flag in the first month, it never works out. Especially when you're first meeting people. This is why. When you're first meeting people, their emotions for you are at a fever pitch. Their desire to see you is almost compulsive. So when they're okay with not seeing you, it just tells me the right neurons aren't firing in your brain. You're too chill, too zen, right? So it has to be a few things. One, especially if you meet them, I'm telling you, this is why when you first meet them and they ignore you, it's more of a red flag than when you guys are in a relationship. A lot of times, you don't know people's past. You don't know where the fuck they came from. A lot of these people have boyfriends, girlfriends, they have relationships, and you don't know their secrets. You don't know their personal demons. You don't know why they're ignoring you. And a lot of times, they don't ignore you because of you. They ignore you because of other problems. And if they have so many problems, they're ignoring you at first, what do you think is going to happen later on in the relationship? Like, it's like, come on, man. Like you should right now should be the peak emotion. Like, in terms of like wanting to see me, dopamine, right now it should be. And you're ignoring me? Nah. In the beginning, walk away. People think having a red flag means hitting someone and, you know, that kind of stuff. No, not entirely. Sometimes having a red flag means feeling unbelievable chemistry the first time you guys meet. There is something toxic going on there, and consistently, every time you have insane chemistry with someone when you first meet them, for some odd reason, for some joke of the universe, it never works out. Usually the best things start slow. And the smartest animals have the longest gestation period. The best food have the longest marination period, in my opinion, right? So good things take time. It's like trying to build a building without building the foundation, right? Too much chemistry will remove the foundation. You first got to get to know them without feeling that intense chemistry so that you can actually connect with the person. So other things is that they may have some personal issues, right? And this is why you have to talk about it. In the beginning, if they ignore you, you don't want to deal with that bullshit. I don't care if it's personal issues. If I don't love you, if I don't like you, and you're already starting with the bullshit, I'm not going to continue. And you shouldn't as well, right? Another thing, so they may have personal issues, they may have some miscommunication, which means, and this is honestly the source of most problems, most people really don't have a problem with each other. The problem is that there's always misunderstandings between people. If you like, and it's one of the saddest things about life, that a lot of good friendships, a lot of good relationships ended because both just didn't communicate well, right? Some people also, they need some space, right? It could be their their way of coping with things. But like I said, if this is how they deal with conflict, you guys have to communicate it and find a middle path. Because if you don't understand that they want space because of just their personal selves, then there's gonna be misunderstandings. And look, man, sometimes people ignore you because of life. They may work too much. They may have some health concerns and stuff like that. But the key is talk about it. Talk about it with the person. Don't let something good leave because you have too much ego to talk to the person and see what's going on. You don't want to look needy. Leave that shit initially in the relationship, in the initial part of getting to know someone. But once you get to know someone, you have to look needy sometimes. You have to, look like needy McGirt. It's okay. If your ego is too important for that, then you're not meant for that. You know what I'm saying? Anyways, hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys want to work with Father Alex one-on-one so I don't have to close the channel, go to mindforattraction.org and I'll see you guys later. All right, ladies and gentlemen, if you guys ever want to learn how to use your feminine energy to influence people, learn how to use your masculine energy to become more assertive, and also learn how to blend both energies to improve your dating life, your spiritual life, honestly, your relationship life, your family life, your career life, this is the course for you. If I had to make a course for my nieces, I have two nieces, one is 19 and one is 15. 16. Holy shit. Oh my God, he's a bad fucking uncle. He's a bad uncle. Get him. Shut up, Melissa. You should get this course, right? And this is the course that I will make for them. So, for example, watch the curriculum, right? In the first week, we're going to be showing you how to establish a strong masculine foundation without letting it hurt your feminine energy. This masculine foundation is a source of who you are, right? It's your bodyguard. Without this, whatever feminine energy you create will be destroyed by the outside because your masculine is your shield. So we'll talk about goal setting. We'll talk about how to develop a serious attitude. We're gonna be talking about how to use more logic, how to use more goal-oriented behavior. It's more how to be a man. Now the next one is how to embrace the feminine energy, right? This one would teach you about how to minimize excessive masculine traits, developing self-awareness, healing abundant feminine energy, regulating your emotion, mastering voice qualities and facial expressions, surrendering control and allowing pain to be felt. This is honestly, this will supercharge, like Kaioken, your masculine energy. After that, we have femininity in the workplace and how to be feminine in the workplace without letting people take advantage of you, and the nuances of how women on power should behave versus women who are subordinates in the workplace, and even the dress code. This is based on psychology, people. It's kind of insane. I'm actually excited about this one. The next week, we talk about navigating the labyrinth of male and female friendship. And this, a lot of women find confusing, so we talk about that. And how to identify envious friends, how to identify the good friends, how to keep male friends, and how to keep female friends. Week 5, we talk about how to release the burden of the past and stop and destroy mental projections. This is actually really powerful. And then week 6, we talk about how to increase your observational power so that you can read people better. And we have a bunch of bonuses. The course starts at $99, and you guys can pre-order the course today at $69 before it goes out. If you're watching this, most likely I'm in the meditation retreat, so I will be praying for all of you guys. And just click on the description down below of the video. Right there, you'll see it, and you could pre-order that course. It's gonna be out by the end of next month or the beginning of February of March. One of the two, people, because I have a 10-day retreat to do, and I want to finish the course after the retreat because I think the ideas are gonna be so much better. All right, man. I'll see you guys later. Pre-order, man. Oh, I'm closing the channel.